Hello and welcome to today's review of the Transformers Dark of the Moon Human Alliance Basics Tailpipe and this little guy, Pinpointer. Now this just looks like a box right now, but it's actually the Target Master companion. Now crazy that I say this comes with a Target Master considering it's a very G1 gimmick and this is a movie toy. But back in the day, being around the Dark of the Moon period, this was only a tenner, as were all of the other Human Alliance basics, and this is definitely the most bang for your buck. Like far and away, you get a small weapon-like figure, you get a really cool Transformer, I mean they're both Transformers technically, and then you get this guy. His name, I do not remember. Anyway, let's look at him quick. Same points of articulation as all of the other Human Alliance humans. You know, legs kick up, you can kind of swivel the hip round if you dare. Seems really tight on this one, so I don't want to do it at risk of breakage. Head will swivel, like so. No elbows, but you do have a wrist. And yeah, just, all the standard stuff that these guys came with, even the knee swivels, and it's all cool. And as you could see, he was sat on here perfectly fine, holds onto the handlebars and does his thing. Now this is very cool. I don't have an awful lot to say about it though, because unlike the others, this one seems to have the least paint across the board. You've got painted sections on the wheels, you've got these painted black sections here, some gold in those vent sections. There's a bit of silver there, is it? No, it's all gold. It's just the reflection makes it look a bit different. Tampographed Autobot symbol. This little section here is painted as well. That is relevant for the robot mode. Yeah, there's really not an awful lot going on here. And then there's this pin section which is very relevant to the transformation. Now, while we're here, I will show you an approximation of what the secondary vehicle looks like. This is your secondary vehicle. Okay. it's like a hover bike essentially. And what you're going to want to do as well is you just want to pop these bits out of the wheels. Voila. Now, if anyone's seen the new or new-ish Legacy Prowl, I think it was it in Legacy? Yeah, Legacy United or whatever. I think they had an animated Prowl figure that had shurikens that did this. However, that was probably a whole lot easier to work with. And this... Oh, it's not working. Okay, you get the point. I'm not going to faff around with it anymore. Let's just place him down. Pinpointer here, we'll cover him when we get to the robot mode. For our vehicle mode size comparison, here we have Human Alliance Barricade, Lego Car, Human Alliance Backfire, Ralph, Steve. Now, this is perfectly fine. I brought up Human Alliance Barricade here. I do want to cover this eventually, and it is another Human Alliance figure. This is from the Revenge of the Fallen toy line, and as cool as it is, I don't have his companion piece, being Frenzy. Now, if we kind of pry open these doors, this is a common thing with the standard Human Alliance figures. They did have like car interiors and stuff, you'd put the guys in. All of the humans from these basics are compatible. You could wedge him in there if you want and he'll plug into the seat perfectly fine. But yeah, options, I like them. And moving on from here, we are going to do the transformation into robot mode and then, all of the following stuff. So we're going to do transformations for both of these. And yeah, so we're going to put those wheels away, like the wheel spikes. We're going to take the arms out. Take this section, fold the legs down, yeah. Wait a minute, toe is the grey one. There you go. The black piece is the heel. There you go. So, right, we're going to take this section here, we're going to fold it outward, then we are going to... looking through the camera lens to do this is, I tell you, it's a bit of a pain in the bottom. The head is here. It's very similar to the pattern that's on the front of the bike. See, it's got the silver section with the blue eyes. It's like black with the blue eyes, which is cool. It's like a light board is his head. Strange. Anyway, back plugs into the chest, kind of completes the look. The wheels on this guy, I do believe they could go like this. Now he's got 3 legs. Yeah, just kind of fiddle around with the wheels, get whatever you're happy with. Kind of put the head up. Kind of is stuck looking a bit down, which yeah, it's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna kick up a fuss about it. You know, it's very simple stuff. And yeah, he's cool. How does he articulate though? Well, problems. Just go fiddle with these wheels. You know, we'll leave them in the correct position. We'll make this as fair as possible. So the shoulders are gonna go out at 90, right? General stuff. Swivel round on the ball, get a full 360. Elbows, only pull a 90, like so. Swivel instead of the bicep swivel, but same job. Wrists, which is very nice. Then you have a backwards butterfly for the transformation, no forwards. And that's kind of where you go with the arms. The head has a good old swivel. Wow, it popped off. 'Tis a first, I tell you. Oh my, I'm not sure. Anyway, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come back when the head's back on. Okay, and we're back. And I did mistransform this kind of upper body section a little bit where the head is. You're meant to kind of smush things together, line it up properly. There's a little bar piece. You want that lying flush with the back, like so. You know, good little silhouette here, and it kind of frees up the head slightly. You do get swiveling, you know, from left to right. You're not going to get much up or much down, but it is on this little hinge platform, like so, where it folds away. So whatever movement that gets without putting the head away, that does count. But yeah, it's fine, I guess. Does he have a waist? The answer is no. Yeah, it's typical affair for these, but he does not. Yeah, never mind. No exceptions. Legs kick up really far. Legs kick up really far. Backwards, they kick backwards. Knees, really, really deep knees. Like very super awesome joint. Yeah, you can even bend them forward, break a leg, right? And then that's really it. You've got no thigh swivel, you've got no waist, you've got a bit of a toe bend downwards if you work out that, and you know, it kind of just exists. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. This is a very unique robot mode. I'm not going to dog on the transformation and, you know, all the other things that it doesn't do so great. I mean, the transformation's fine, but it is a point of contention that I don't think is the best thing in the world. It's definitely just a fine affair, you know. Okay, actually I'd give it a 7 on that, but we'll get to it. Now, for the robot mode size comparison, if we could line him up. Why is he stuck looking down? There you go, right. Stand him there. Move on to his partner actually, because we are going to need to do this eventually. We're going to fold the legs down, take these back sections, which become the arms, swing them forward, like so, and then that is basically it. Guys, we've done it. We have little dude. He's very detailed. There's not an awful lot of paint. There's a bit of red, a bit of blue on the eyes, silver on the chest, silver on both of the fists. And he just kind of exists, and you know, I'm all for it. So we'll stand him there. We go zoom out, we go do the robot mode size comparison. Level him up quick. Here we go. Dark of the Moon Voyager Ironhide. Dark of the Moon Q. Dark of the Moon Half Track. Ralph. Steve. Now, these guys, they all look fine together, you know, definitely all movie verse and whatnot. Little Target Master dude doesn't want to stand up too well, but you know, his feet are fine. It's just the fact it's a kind of a glass surface. It's a bit more slippery than the average worktop. Now, you know, when all is said and done, Tailpipe is cool. He's cool. And really, my final thoughts on him, we just gotta come back in with a zoom. You know, this is perfectly adequate. Yeah, aesthetics on this guy, we're gonna give him a 8 out of 10. Maybe I could push it to a 9, purely because the bike mode is incredibly strong. The robot mode, however, that is the issue with the backpack. You know, the wheels are just kind of, they just exist, you know, they're not contributing an awful lot. I mean, if you do elongate them fully, have them fully clicked out, you could bring them down, you know. That still isn't the most aesthetically pleasing thing in the world. It does get them out of the way a bit, but it's going to hinder your arm articulation going backwards, and you know, it's a thing you have to figure out for yourself, whatever works. But yeah, we're just going to go with an 8 for that one. For the articulation on this guy, he is better than, say, Thunderhead, Drag Strip, and yeah, really Backfire. You know, he's better than 3 of them, but he's worse than the other 3. That kind of puts him at a 6. You know, he's not on half-track levels of articulation, despite the fact he's got deeper knees and stuff. He doesn't have a waist. He's missing the upper leg articulation, like the thigh. He doesn't have ankles like that figure does. He's just a 6 because he's better than 3 of them, worse than the other 3. So he's got to be somewhere in the middle. And that brings us to the transformation and value for money. Both of those are scoring a 7. Perfectly adequate. Value for money, actually, no, we're being unfair, it's a 10. You get the Pinpointer. You get our human. Here you go, Bean. You get a human being. You get Pinpointer. You get a little cool robot that turns into a bike that can be rode by any of the other humans. Brilliant stuff. I'm all for it. The value for money on this is excellent. The transformation is just good. It's nothing special, nothing bad. There's no steps that annoy me. Maybe in the third alt mode, you know, getting the shuriken bits out of the wheels, a bit annoying, but yeah, this figure exists. I am happy for it existing. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.